Alright, so we've got a bit of an interesting situation right here as our starting lobby right here. You'll see our boy right here, Fiora. Actually, no, sorry, this Fiora is the Fiora. But you'll see right here we've got stab, stab, blade, blade, stab. So you're going to get a lot of contention early game. So what I would recommend is whatever area you start into. This is something that I like to do because I find Uptown is contested a lot. So I find it's always just better to kind of go in with the assumption that you're going to face other people there. But I like to enter Uptown at the very beginning of the game in offense stance, and as I enter, I like to activate counterattack right off the get-go. And if nobody contests you and you just waste a counterattack, usually the time you have to farm that area is enough time to give you a bit of an item advantage. Because like I say this all the time, but Uptown is one of the best areas for basically early game items, as long as obviously you can support the weapon drops that are there. But a lot of times, if no one contests you while counterattack is active, you'll have enough time to get the item advantage. For if anyone tries to kick you out, you'll have those items to defend yourself. So you'll usually get a good amount of weapons. You'll usually get some recovery items, and then you'll be kind of so entrenched in the Uptown that people are going to have a hard time actually removing you from that area. And like I said, on the other side of the spectrum is if there are people in there that you already have counterattack activated, you don't have to really channel it, you don't have to do anything. So in a situation like this, you should just be assuming that you're going to be going up against some of these characters. So let's see where you go. I think one of your other VODs, you went straight to, not Uptown, straight to Hotel. So let's see if you do that again. Yeah, we go to Hotel. And I want to talk about this because I don't really like Hotel. I find Hotel is nice as a backup, but starting at Hotel is something that I never really like, because you got less access to the items. Like, here's the thing, right? You have less knives, and you have more overall items. You've got more, like, random items as well. That, like, there's a lot of items that, like, realistically speaking, there's a lot of items in Hotel that you're just not going to use. Like, you're going to find thimble, you're going to find fertilizer, you're going to find plates, you're going to find, razors, scrolls, box cutters. You're going to find all these items, and you can't pick up any of these. As opposed to if you start in Uptown, if you're going to find items kind of at the same rate, but almost all the items you can find in Uptown are going to be items that you can actually use. Like, let's see right here. Like, you'll find, like, the other thing about Uptown, and I gotta say this as well really quick, is that you have access to every type of armor except head armor. So if you're going into Uptown, you'll find stuff like windbreakers, you'll find running shoes, you will find arm warmers, you'll find all this stuff, and almost everything you get in Uptown is something you can use. Like, the only things that you can't really use are like there's one plate, which is less than the plates in Hotel. There's ribbons, which are technically you can still use them, just they're not very, very good accessory to just have running around with. But technically, armor's armor. Needles are probably one of the, needles are probably like the most useless thing you can find in Uptown, and needles still have use. Like, you can build a needle into acupressure if you need to. So the thing is, you need to find swords, you need to find knives and whetstone. And when you're searching, there's going to be some items that you find that aren't knives and whetstones. But the difference being here, in Hotel, the only real items that you find that aren't knives and whetstones are going to be useful are some food items, which are good, don't get me wrong, as opposed to Uptown, which almost every item you find that's not a knife and whetstone is going to be a really, really good item. So I never really like starting into Hotel. Like, if you want to start into Uptown, Uptown is always just really, really good. Like, it's kind of high risk, but you get mastery off it, you get items off it, and you can always tell early kind of who's going to kind of win out on those engagements 1v1 anyways. So you just have to learn your character versus character engagements. You have to learn how you match up against people with counterattack active, stuff like that. So let's just go into right here. So, I mean, talking really quick, let's keep an eye on what items you get from the Hotel, and let's keep an eye on how long you stay at the Hotel, and when you leave, what items you have with you when you leave the Hotel. And then we can kind of compare that to what you could get from an up-down start. So we dropped the Oriental. I don't think you should drop the grass because you need a lighter next anyways. Again, you get garlic, which is that's super RNG. Like I get the other thing with the hotel is it's kind of RNG, right? Like if you get stuff like garlic and sweet potatoes and honey, and you get some really good food drops early, then yeah, you got Value Town. You should be taking that sweet potato. Okay, good. Yeah, because like you can always build into that. Steel chain, that's always nice. But what can you do? Whetstone is nice. If you can't find knives, you should be making this into parallel sword, like very quickly. Not very quick. Well, I mean, it is very quick. It's just if you you can't stay here too long just looking for knives. Like just the fact that you just got the whetstone is it's nice enough in general. Like the fact that you just got just one whetstone right there before you got the knives is almost enough incentive because you have food as well. Like the fact that you have the whetstone is almost enough incentive to just straight up like ditch the idea of the lens side and go straight for the parallel sword because it's gonna waste yourself a lot of time. Plus the fact that you get scared out of an area. If you get scared out of your area, it's always nice to getting scared out of an area is enough incentive to kind of in the first place to want to just go ahead and make the parallel sword. Yeah, okay, I can see what you're doing. And I mean, I can definitely see what you're doing because you've got the garlic, so getting into garlic ramen would be nice. There's your knife. You're running a little bit behind schedule right here. You're running like very behind schedule, as a matter of fact. You got to get out of there. No, you don't split. No, that's not what you do because you're gonna take a second hit. Yeah, no, that's not what you do. That is not what you do. Look at you're now down to 54 health. And you did not need to be down to 54 health. You don't switch to stealth stance and move after that. Because switching to stealth stance and moving is like... Well, you did more than that. You switched to stealth stance, you ate bread, and then I think you... I don't know, I can't remember. I thought it went by pretty quickly, so I don't know. But I thought I saw you look like you were going to try to just start resting healing, which, I mean, it's instinctual to people a lot of times when you have no stamina left, I guess, but you switched to stealth stance, and you ate bread, and then you moved, and there's no reason to do that, there's no reason to do that, because you could have just left the area and not taken the damage in the first place, so you took 24, you took 24 additional damage, and you used a bread. Which the bread, I guess, doesn't really matter, but you took additional damage, and you're now down to 54 health, and you don't actually have any food items built right now. Like, you want to use that garlic for a garlic bread. So you want to use that garlic for ramen, because you have 2 garlics, is what I'm under the assumption, because you got the boiling water, you got the garlic, but right now you're at 54 health, and you're going to be forced into using healing pretty quickly. Like, if you don't find a honey, then you're pretty screwed right now. And the other thing is, like, you're forced into leaving. You're not building your items anymore. You're not building weapons. You're leaving to Town Hall to try to find honey to build into sweet potatoes. No, what are you doing? Oh my god! That triggered me so hard. You don't do that. Don't do that. Never do that. All you needed was a honey from Town Hall. Oh my god! I thought you were looking for honey. Okay, no, Famo. Don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. Oh my god. Okay. But the thing is, you're down to like 50 health, and you don't have a there's your twin blades right there. You're down to 50 health, and you're just now getting the twin blades. So, like, here's the thing: you can't go around this time. You're going to want to be going and hunting animals. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure this is the second round, right? Around this time, you're going to want to be going and hunting animals, and you can't do that right now because you don't really have anything. Okay, I mean, now you have it, so that's going to be nice, but, like, yeah, I guess in theory, you should be going and hunting the animal now. You got the lucky ramen, that's pretty nice. So you should be, okay, yeah, take the cloth, take the water that you dropped, never mind. Okay, you should be going after you should be leaving right now to, okay, good. Yeah, so you're going after the bear, so this is good, you're good, you smart, you loyal. No, that's good. You just have to check the cemetery. Last place is the cemetery. So this is good because you need to be going after that animal. You're just a bit too far behind. So you should be going to cemetery is closed. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. You could go after the gorilla right now if you wanted, because if you can't find the bear, then the gorilla's a backup as well that I would recommend going. I would take that and try to build into the Buddhist Fiora if I could. I think you might still be an offense stance. Take the Mithril. Take the Mithril. Man, when you're this far behind an item, when you're this far behind an armor, you can't be just not taking Mithril. For real, fam. You could take that headband because, first of all, you have no headgear, but you need to potentially go to, what's it called? See, if you took the Buddhist script before, you'd have Buddhist rear. You don't eat that last hot ramen. Don't do it. Because that last hot ramen is that last hot ramen is 2 garlic ramens when you kill the bear. So it's not anymore. You're still really behind on armor, and you're, I mean, this might not seem as obvious, but you're actually very, very behind on your weapon as well. You still only have the twin blades. So you need to get that off quick. And the reason you're so far behind on your weapon is because you were dicking around in, running around to Town Hall, running around to Slum, running around to a lot of these. I mean, Slum, obviously, you get the items from it as well. But you were spending a lot of time kind of going around for other stuff. And you ended up... You end up like very, very behind in your items. Like look at your item build right here. Like I'm pretty sure this is the last round before nighttime. This should be the last round before nighttime, and you don't have any armor, and you don't even have any. You really don't have the weapon either. You're still missing. You're still using the twin blades, and that's pretty. And other than twin blades, like I can't see your item build right now, but from what I remember, you have like doctor's gown. You should have the dress right now. That should be the only thing you have right now in terms of armor. That right there is a free Buddhist rear, which you just passed up, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, take that. Okay, you pick the Tree of Life up first, which is good. You should take the headband. You have no other armor. You have no head armors, and you have to go to cemetery eventually. Okay, get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. No, don't eat. No. Okay. So. 22, give me a sec. Let's see. It should be around here that we see. Just gonna go back. Okay. So we took 46 damage. Okay? Which is a lot of damage, so obviously, yeah, you probably don't really want to contest that right there. I would assume, but let's just keep that number in mind. So we take 46 damage. We use an 80 health recovery. We use an 80 health recovery item right here, and we go to stealth. We should be taking a second. Okay, I don't know why you're not getting hit the second time right here, but you should have gotten hit a second time for another 46 damage. And in essence, what you just did. If you got hit right there, is you wasted like 80, 92 health. In theory, you just wasted 92 health right there because you only used half of the 80 healing, and you would have taken an additional hit that you did not need to take. So if you add up the 2, but it would be close to 80, close to 90 health that you just wasted, just threw out of the window. So I don't know why you haven't got hit yet. I honestly don't know why. Maybe the Jackie's not an offense stance, but switching to stealth stance and crafting in the face of somebody who just dealt 46 damage to you, that's a really, really bad idea. Like, you should not be crafting in the face of a Jackie. Like, I think people, what do? People, like, overestimate, or whatever, the power of stealth stance. Stealth stance is not that, like, not powerful enough that you can just switch to, excuse me, it's not powerful enough that you can just switch to stealth stance and be safe. Like, you're still gonna get hit, like, a lot of times. I'm really trying to stress that you, like, I'm seeing you do this a lot in your gameplay. You just keep switching to stealth stance in the face of someone who deals a large amount of damage. You can't be dicking around with people. You have to give respect to people who deal large amounts of damage to you. If someone deals a large amount of damage to you and you can't contest them, you leave the area. You don't switch to stealth stance, use some healing, craft an item. You don't do that. You have to get out of there. If you can't contest another character, you get out of that area. You stay as long as you feel comfortable contesting them, sure, but if you cannot contest them, you leave the area. Like, you have to put priority into that. You can't just be staying there, because you're taking unnecessary damage and you're wasting health items. So let's see. Finishing off the Stallion Medal, I guess that's kind of cool. That's a lot of damage. Was that? Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, like, you're really, really behind in a lot of your stuff. Okay, we're moving at least. I think, didn't we just, no, we came from a forest. Okay, so that's fine. Yeah, all these characters are just dealing a lot of damage to you. And, like, again, the issue with this is just that you've fallen so far behind in what you're trying to do. And, like, okay, it was really, really awkward there for a little bit, because if you look at kind of what happened, we had the, what am I trying to say? Oh man, I lost my train of thought. Okay, we were trying to build into the Twin Blades, but we didn't really get any armor. So you started trying to build into the Twin Blades, and then halfway through building the Twin Blades, you're like, let me go try to build some armor instead. So you went over and you started trying to build some armor at the hospital. And then you're like, let me go back to Twin Blades. So we went back to the tunnel and tried to start building into the Twin Blades. So you're like, let me go try to build this. And then you're not committing to anything. And that's not good. You're not committing to anything that you want to build. And that's actually really bad for you, because, like, you're not getting the benefits of any of the items completely. Like, you're holding on to, like, 2 knives, and that's not going to give you the benefit of the damage of the Twin Blades. You're holding on to some sweet potatoes, holding on to some boiling water, but you're not getting the health recovery benefits of that. You're not actually going to be able to eat those. And then you're holding on to cloth for armor, and you're not going to be able to get the benefits of the cloth as an armor because you're not wearing it. So you're not committing to anything, and that's one of the bigger issues over here. You're not committing to, you're trying to, like, you start something and then you forget about it and you try to start something else and you forget about that and you try to start something else. Like, you need to commit to, ideally, your weapon. And again, if you were in Uptown, you would have a lot more options at your disposal. And I think that's one of the bigger problems right here with your game right here was the hotel start. And like I said right there, when you start with a whetstone, when you get the whetstone, if you get the whetstone and then you're bullied out of the hotel, a lot of times it's just better to just straight up try to build directly into the parallel sword. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure I saw you get a scrap metal and a lighter before you actually came across the second knife. So you should have picked those up and then just went straight to the cemetery and finished the parallel sword. Like, that's all you need. You bring a whetstone to Slum. You brought the whetstone to Slum and you had found scrap and a lighter. All you need to do is go to, to cemetery, and you have a completely finished off parallel sword. As opposed to, and that's one location. You move to one location, you've completely finished off parallel sword. As opposed to what you did, you went from Slum to Town Hall, you went from Town Hall to Hospital, you went from Hospital to Tunnel, you went to like 4 or 5 different areas, and it took you forever to finally finish off the Twin Blades. Not the Lance of Poseidon, the Twin Blades. It took you forever. It took you like 3 areas to finish off the Twin Blades, when it would have taken you 1 area to finish off the parallel sword. So you have to have a little bit more flexibility, and you have to actually commit to what you're doing. What are you looking for right now? Flour, I think? You don't really have a lot of flowers here at the, I mean, Forest is open. Forest has more, Forest and Pond actually are much better. Like, you're not really going to get a lot of, oh my god, that's big damage. You're not going to get a lot of, useful items at the archery range. Like, you're really not. Like, the only good thing you're going to get at archery range, other than obviously the flower, is the leather. And there's really not that many flowers at the archery range. So if you're looking for flower, you should be looking at Pond or Forest right now. They're just better areas. So we're seeing the damage output. Okay, good. You backed out with enough time, as we see right there. 51 damage is pretty decent. You probably, actually no, you don't have any health, so yeah, never mind. Backing out was probably good. Backing out, yeah, you have to back out there as well. Yeah, you're really running low on health. Like, this is another thing, is you kind of stopped building health items after you got the hot ramen. And, like, that's, you basically can never stop building health items. Like, you got the excuse me, garlic ramen. You got the garlic ramen, you're like, okay, that's enough. The other thing is if you're, if you went to pond or forest, you be getting health items in addition to getting the flower, which you are trying to get right now. But you're not, like, going to the archery range is not giving you health items. So, like, that's what I'm saying right here. It's like, you kind of gave up on getting health items. If you went to forest, you could get some oriental grass, and you still have boiling water, so you can make concoctions. If you went to, oh my god, see, you should have picked up the hairband a little while ago. And, I don't know, like, you're in a position where, I don't know, like, using stealth stance is actually really awkward, but, like, you're in a position where you're kind of screwed otherwise. But, yeah, you definitely need to get some health items. Like, this was, I think the position you're in right now was avoidable. If you had continually built health items as you went. You shouldn't attack there. You're way too low. Hitting that Nadine kind of locks you in animation for an additional amount of time. When you're that low in health, just click run and move. Like, it takes longer to hit your opponent and then leave because you're locked into the animation. So if you're that low on health, you should not be risking hitting the other opponent. You should just be moving. You should just be clicking move and just leave the area. Down to dog. But yeah, this situation right here where you're like this super low on health and just kind of running around frantically was super avoidable. It was very, very avoidable because all you needed to do is keep making food. You just needed to keep making food while you were going along your way. And you kind of stopped doing, like I said, you stopped doing that after the hot ramen. After the garlic ramen. So you have to always pay attention to your food, and you can't just stop making food, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I hope this helps. I'll try to get I'll try to see if you streamed for a long time right here, so I'll see if you won a few games. I'll try to point out what I guess was making you win for those games. But I think it's better to review games where you lost, obviously, because then you can point out the actual mistakes. But yeah, that's basically everything.